Hey guys, today we'll be looking at a very popular knife, and this is the Cold Steel Recon 1. So let's get started. We have the Recon 1, and this is a widely known knife all across YouTube, Blade HQ, all the knife stores like Knife Center, GP Knives, all those places. This is a widely bought knife, and it is actually one of the flagship models for Cold Steel, and obviously known from all these other reviewers and people purchasing the knives that it is very, very well rounded. Now before we get started, we are going to do some quick size comparisons. We have the Recon 1 coming in at a full 4 inches of cutting edge. We have the weight coming in at 5.3 ounces, pretty adequate weight. You see in a lot of EDC knives that tons of knife companies come out with, from Spyderco, you know, very, very normal weight, very well-rounded normal weight. The blade thickness, this is a 3.5 millimeter blade stock, and it is fairly thick, but it is also you can totally pierce through stuff. The cool thing about a thin blade stock is that it will come down towards the grind, because I do believe this is a high saber grind, if not a hollow grind. Because they do different different renditions over their different runs of the knives. So this new Recon 1 for this year, I think this is the newest Recon 1 you can get. And from my first impressions of it, from when I first got it, ergonomics are fantastic. I really enjoy the ergonomics of this knife, and it's done a beautifully job at the fit and finish and everything like that. All right, let's get to those size comparisons. Bringing in the widely also known Cold Steel Recon American Lawman. As you can see, there is quite a difference, because the Recon 1 is dwarfing the American Lawman. Next is a knife we just reviewed here. This is the Spyderco Manix 2 XL. Very close in size. Very close in size. They both have just about 4-inch blade, and they both are actually very close in weight. Now let's bring in another knife that is very close to the Recon 1. This is the Cold Steel AK-47. A lot of you guys have this knife. Also very popular knife, along with the Recon 1. And as you can see, very close in size. Although this does have a bigger cutting edge, as you can see. And let's bring in another very popular knife, or multi-tool if you will, because it does have pliers, and it does have bit drivers, and it does have little bit slots and everything like that, little tools, and also as a carabiner. Very cool. But this is the Leatherman Skeletal. A lot of you guys have this knife. This is a very good, well-rounded EDC tool. I really enjoy it. But here's a size comparison of this. As you can see, this is just humongous, because this is not mainly a tactical knife, which is what we will get into this. Okay, getting into that. The purpose of this knife, it is like a lot of Cold Steels, it is tactical oriented. It is meant for police officers, meant for our troops, you know, military, all the branches of military. And as my first impressions of it, immediately, oh my gosh, this is a tactical blade oriented. You know, this was made for that reason. Cold Steel is not afraid to apologize about their use and their marketing on that specific type of role. And that's a beautiful thing, if you ask me. I really enjoy how they are fearless to show themselves as a company that makes weapons. They make tools for self-defense, and they also make tools that can be used for self-defense and or EDC, which is very nice. And I believe this knife comes in very nicely as an EDC knife as well. And a lot of you guys do agree with me. It is a fantastic knife all around. It actually has a fairly thick G10 slabs, as you can see. It is much thicker than the American Lawman, as you can see right there. It's a thick, sturdy knife, and that is the purpose of it. It is supposed to be a just awesome, all around, like if one knife you had, this is the Recon 1. You can definitely count on it. And having that triad lock, as you guys see, you know, American Lawman, all the cold steels, a lot of the cold steels have the triad lock, excluding the newer cold steel 8015 with the scorpion lock. But anyway, that's for another review. This has pretty good action. Some triad locks you'll get and they're a little sticky, you know, a little slow. This is definitely not one of the faster triad locks like the 8015 or anything like that. It is a little slower, more like a hydraulic feeling, like you'll find on a Chris Reeve Sabenza, or you know, any of the Chris Reeve knives. I'm not saying this is a Chris Reeve knife because it is definitely not that high in tolerances or high in detail, attention to details, but just in that effect, that is not, you know, not Kershaw speed safe. What I'm trying to say, you can definitely flick it out, which is cool, but I'm just saying it is not the fastest of action, which is fine. This is meant to be a tank of a knife, and it absolutely is. And speaking of tank and a knife, it also is a little bit of a tank in your pocket. I've noticed when I have it in my pocket, it is, you know, slightly heavier than you think it is. Like I'll take my Cold Steel Voyager XL Tonto, and this is actually, I think it's a 7.5 ounce knife, and I find it pretty comfortable to carry. But other than that, it carries pretty well. You know, it carries in the pocket nicely. You can get your hand around it while you try to reach through stuff in your pocket. But it is a little hefty. Given that hard use roll, you know, it is hefty. And I do not find myself grabbing this knife as much as I do as knives like the Manix 2, like the American Lawman, and that type of stuff. Those types of knives, you know. Those are mainly my three like optimized favorite EDC knives to grab. Although I do carry this knife. I do enjoy this knife a lot, just because of the weight basically and the weight distribution. This knife is not the best at weight distribution, but then again, it is for sturdiness, and I'm not going to ding points off of it. Obviously, I love it. I highly recommend. I will not, you know, go against how much I like it based on that alone. Okay, let's bring in a few more knives. Another popular knife is the Cold Steel Broken Skull. This was very popular a few years ago because Steve Austin, celebrity, he's a celebrity, and he designed this knife actually with cold steel, which is pretty cool. As you can see, they both have a 4-inch cutting edge, and they're actually almost about the exact same size. Given this is just slightly longer because the handle's quite long, as you can see. Anyway, they're very close in size. This is a lot lighter. This is not, which is fine because it is meant for that heavy-duty roll. Heavy-duty, tactical, all-around, hard-use, overbuilt roll, which is amazing. Cold Steel does a phenomenal job at it. You know, you have the knives like the Voyager, the 4MAX. You know, these are not light knives, but they are definitely meant for the hard-use usability for knife users. And that's what's fantastic, and I think they've done a very beautiful job at portraying that in the Recon 1. Let's get into the scales. Okay, so the knife scales, they are G10, and they are a very rough G10. Although not as rough as the earlier models or the actual more current models of the AK-47. It is about fairly similar, although I will notice that the AK-47 grid pattern on the G10 is a little bit bigger, given that it also sticks out a little more, I've noticed. This is slightly more fine than the AK-47 G10, which I find, I like this G10 better than the AK-47 G10, but also, I'm not going to lie to you, it is rough. You know, it is going to tear your jeans, but you know what? I like that. I honestly don't care if I slip it out of my pocket and it tears some of my jeans. You know why? Because I am going to carry my Recon 1, and my jeans are just going to have to deal with it. Yeah, I love the G10. I honestly love almost the sandy, very, what am I trying to say? Very grippy G10. And it goes very good along with the ergonomics. Now you do have these two cutouts here in the handle, and they kind of just rest there. It is almost like you have some knives where like you have all those different humps in the handle when you're like forced to have that position. while this does have the two humps, you almost have like a neutral, just resting grip, which is really nice, I've noticed, for like cutting through material. But although when I did cut through material using this, pretty hard actually, when I was cutting through material, I almost wanted to shift my hand position to this grip. As you can see, if I'm holding it this way and I wanted to shift it this way, I will have this hump kind of almost digging into my palm. Although, because I am used to knives without cutouts, such as like the Manix 2 XL, I can just kind of shift over and it's fine. It doesn't really bother the ergonomics. Not saying this is terrible. I'm just saying my hand always kind of wanted to slip forward a little bit like this, and that is not optimal for the cutting performance of it and for the ergonomics of your hand. So you kind of just want to just focus on the meant ergonomics made for this knife with the grips, and kind of just use the knife that way. Although it's actually a very good grip for like cooking or anything, for chopping vegetables, anything like that. You know, I think it definitely excels at that because of the grind. It goes fairly thin towards the edge, but it also goes a little more sturdy towards the tip. I noticed Cold Steel does a very good job with their hollow grinds. I believe this is a hollow grind. They do a very good job of making sure that you have a cutting edge that is optimal for cutting performance. It slices through paper, cardboard, materials, you name it, rope, everything. And they always thicken the tip just slightly more, just for that durability. Since this is tactical oriented, and if you are stabbing through material, I'm not trying to get graphic here, but say you're stabbing through wood or whatever, wood, and you're stabbing through wood and you're prying, that's basically why they thicken the cutting edge towards the tip, rather than having it thick all the way. I think that they do a beautiful job at it. I've noticed with all their knives, especially when you pull out Cold Steel Tontos, obviously they change from a hollow grind to a flat grind, which makes the tip very stout, which is very cool. I think they do a phenomenal job at that. Now, the Recon ones do come in multiple sizes. They have an XL version, which is equivalent to the size of a Voyager XL, which is very nice, with a 5.5-inch blade. I have not held that one before. I have not handled it. I have seen it on the web many times and everything like that, but yes, you do have multiple blade shapes. This is the drop point version. I much like the drop point version, but I'm also a huge clip point fan. I like the buoy clips, like you can see on the Espada Medium G10 here. But yes, they do come in multiple colors. Speaking of colors, Blade HQ does have a Desert Warrior, hence the name, that is my name as a YouTuber. I am going to get this. This is going to be the mascot for my channel, which would be awesome. Anyway, you can get the exclusive coloration from Blade HQ, which is just amazing. As you can see, it has polished hardware, or not polished, but just normal metallic color, and the pocket clip is as well. Very cool, copper blade, green handles. Because it's so popular, this is very popular. It goes along with the Paramilitary 2, American Lawman, just knives that are just, great. Just great all-around knives, and that's basically what I have to say about this knife. It is a very great all-around EDC knife, or whatever knife you want it to be, because it can absolutely fill all of those roles. Now, I love the blade shape. I love the drop point blade shape. I think it has just enough belly and just enough of the straighter edge to complete those tasks. Even tactical orientation, those types of tasks that Cold Steel really gets into, which I think is really cool. They get into those types of things, making it a defense tool. Now, the looks, I think it looks amazing. I think it looks really cool. It looks definitely like a military law enforcement knife. It looks like a tactical blade, and that's basically what it is. And the usability, I think, is just amazing on this. Speaking of usability, when I do use it, I also do like to choke up here on this almost ricasso of the G10 scales. They always kind of have those blank spots, as you can see also on the Cold Steel AK-47. They always make these kind of cool, these ricassos, that almost function as a choil. And it really enhances the cutting performance going through materials, and as the Recon 1 does with that hollow grind. It just goes through materials, and I think that's a really cool thing. as you have that ricasso, almost like a finger choil. I think it's really cool because you're definitely locked in given those finger slots right there. It's very ergonomic. But yes, in this normal grip that you're made to have, which absolutely is amazing. I think it actually works very well in this grip. And I fairly enjoy using this knife, for cutting whatever the heck I want. Yes, that is the purpose of it. And the value, I'll get into that right now. I think cold steel knives in general have just like phenomenal value, such as the Recon one you're seeing today. I love the value of it. It is, I think on Amazon you can get this for around $95, which is pretty darn good because considering you're getting a 4-inch cutting edge of super well heat treated S35 VN, which holds an edge for a great amount of time. I love how long it holds an edge, and its toughness is phenomenal. It's actually much superior, not much superior, but definitely superior to that of S30V. I prefer S35VN from Cold Steel more so than the S30V of Spyderco, but that's my opinion. I really enjoy the sharpenability of it. It sharpens right back up, hair popping sharp in little to no time. Well, it takes time obviously, but little time. And I really like that. And I think Cold Steel is very consistent with their heat treats. And they've just done a great job, and I absolutely love everything about this knife. Their DLC coating, I have talked about that in my American Lawman video. Go and check that out. I leave it here in this link up here. American Lawman also has the DLC coating, such do the AK-47. You have the Broken Skull. They all have the DLC coating, and it's just they do a phenomenal job at it. Yeah, you do get fingerprints. I said in my American Lawman video, it looks like a crime scene or whatever. Yeah, if this was a crime scene, yeah, you would get caught because you do have fingerprints. But, I like the way it looks because it is a DLC coating and it does have that polish. Though I do prefer the Spyderco DLC coating, as you see here, it is a matte DLC coating, which I very do much appreciate. I still love this coating because it holds up so well. Like, I have used the crap out of my American Lawman, and it is holding up superbly. Yeah, and let's talk about blade centering for a second. Phenomenal. Oh my gosh, they've done a great job of the blade centering. I've noticed with every cold steel I have, perfectly centered. And they just kind of remain that way. I think that's what's really cool about them, as well as a company. And also the backspacer, I believe this is a 6061 heat-treated aluminum backspacer wedged into the two very well done G10 slabs. And it's very flush, actually. It's actually very flush with the G10 slabs. As you can see, I'll open the knife here. As you can see, it is also contoured slightly all over around the edges, which is very nice in that grip. You get a very nice, believe it or not, you get a very smooth, comfortable grip with the Recon one. Given you do also have that rough texture, which is just beautiful combo, because your hands here on the edges, your fingers, your thumb, your palm here is all feeling that smooth, comfortable part. But you're also getting that grip here in your palm right here and your fingers here, which is awesome because you're really locked into the knife. And it really isn't going anywhere, which is really, really cool. This knife actually does have a lanyard hole. It's kind of hard to see, but you definitely do have a lanyard hole, which you can totally put 550 paracord through, whatever beads you want. Leather's a really popular lanyard option that people do. But yes, it is. I love the handles on it. I love just about everything about it. Besides how I want to sometimes move up to the knife, cutting down on material like this, and it does kind of create a hot spot here. But if I were just to shift like that is just a user error. But I think it kind of would be nice for if I were to choke up here, and it was almost formed in a way where I could be also comfortable in this grip due to the curvature here on the spine of the G10 slabs. But you know what? This grip is perfect. I love the grip. I don't want to change it. I think they've done a great job. And Speaking of great job, Lynn Thompson and Andrew Demko have done a great job on this knife. Shout out to them from you see on from Cold Steel, you know, but you see Lynn Thompson and Zach from Blade HQ. They're talking about how this is one of the top 7 Cold Steel knives found through Blade HQ. You know, Cold Steel. Lynn Thompson's opinion as well, and he said, you know, I sat down with Andrew Demko and I could not find a whole lot of things to do to this knife to make it quite that much better, you know, because they have, honestly, in my opinion, I think they have absolutely almost perfected it, because also you can see on the market and everything and through YouTube, all those types of media, that this is a widely known and purchased knife for a reason, definitely for a reason, and it's because of its well-roundedness and great ergonomics, you know, great cutting form. It's well-rounded, just like the Spyderco Paramilitary here too, Spyderco Manix 2. It is very well-rounded and popular for a reason, and I highly recommend it. And I am going to get that Desert Warrior coloration, because that is going to be the mascot for my channel. And I'm going to get the clip point, because I really do like the clip points. Anyway, overall, I think Cold Steel's just done a phenomenal job. The value's there, you know, the availability's there. You can get it here on Amazon, Blade HQ, Knife Center, GP Knives, everywhere. You know, blade shape is fantastic. It's very good EDC blade shape. Blade steel, oh my gosh, love the S35VN. Thumb studs, you know, I think they are very, very well done, because you have these 2 cutouts here that kind of just slip down, and your thumb's already there on the finger choil. They're already there on the thumb studs, giving you pretty good deployment. And if you want to, you can have rapid deployment. You know, a little flick to the wrist, doesn't hurt. Well, that's about it, folks. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like and subscribe below. Highly recommend this. 10 out of 10. Buy it. Oh my gosh, it's a great knife. You will not regret it. I certainly don't. I will leave links up here to my channel and or the videos I've already done. Make sure to leave comments. How do you like the Cold Steel Recon 1? Will you buy the Cold Steel Recon? Do you like Cold Steel? Do you like knives? Are you a knife guy? Talk about it down in the comments, and please like and subscribe below. There will be definitely more content to come. Thank you guys for stopping by. Have a good one.